Today we're going to show you how to display the marine travel hazard forecast, and you can find that up here in the right hand corner by clicking on the travel hazard forecast. Once you click there, set your travel mode to the boat by clicking on it, and once you do that, the marine travel hazard forecast will come up, and it's best to read these directions very carefully, especially the part in green, and how to do this. But essentially what you're going to be doing is holding down the shift key and clicking and dragging, and you'll be able to trace a route wherever you want to go. And then when you're done, you let up on the mouse button and it will automatically plot your route. Now, by default, it's the departure date at the current time, and your vessel speed to 12 knots, but you can change these to whatever date you like, or whatever speed you want. And if you like this route and use it often, you can save it using this little save button here, and I'll show you that by clicking on the save. What you do is provide it a name, such as East Coast, and then click on the save route, and it automatically puts this little green success button up here, and your saved route now falls under this selection box here. So if you're coming back at a different time, you can always pull that right back up and it'll have your route there. This green button's right here basically reverse the direction, so if you want to go from the Gulf of Mexico and go back up towards Maine, click on that and it'll reverse the directions. You can see here that it runs into all these NAs, or not available. The reason that is because by the time you get to that point, using your current speed, we run out of forecast data. You'll see that if you actually increase your speed, say to, just for clarification, let's go 35 knots, you'll see that those data will be filled in with actual forecast data based on the time that you're projected to get at those locations. So as you can see here, there's a little bit of waves signified by the icon, and a little bit of wind up here. If you mouse over these icons, it'll show you all the forecast elements such as wave height, wind direction, speed, so on and so forth. The little icon has a little number on it. That is what this little guy right here displays. It's your icon display. So right now we're showing wave height, but you can choose a wind gust, and it'll show you wind gusts along that route as well. Finally, if it's too dense, or if you have too many forecast points, you can decrease your density down here, and it'll decrease your density of your forecast. The trade-off there is it takes the worst point between these locations, and you might miss some of the things that are going on in between here. So I wouldn't recommend going too much lower than the default. If anything, you can go to the maximum and get the best possible forecast along your route. And then to wrap things up here, I'll go over the last option, which is rivers. And what you do with this is for when you're going on inland locations. So I could click the button right now and it'll redraw my route along the ocean, but it doesn't have any wave data information in that forecast. So it will give you wind speed, temperature, and all the rest of the normal things that you would be looking for along those points, but really it's meant for inland rivers. So for instance, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just generally trace the Mississippi River, and when I do that using the rivers tool, it'll give me everything pertinent to the inland forecast for the rivers, including the weather along the route. As you can see, your options here kind of expand, so you can actually figure out where you're going to run into different things. For instance, right here is light rain, and if you want to, up here in the right hand corner there's something called the legend, and when you display that for the marine travel segments, the segments are colored by this little legend. So for instance, green is there's no forecasted weather hazards, while in the orange here you actually are plotting that portion of the route orange because the wind greater than or equal to 35 miles per hour. So if I throw the wind gusts back on here, you can see that sure enough there's your 35 mile per hour wind gusts, and that's why this section of the route is colored orange. Well, that's all I have for you. So again, do please provide feedback using this little button up here in the right-hand corner. That will dictate if this product stays or goes, and it always is good to know how well we're doing. So thanks for your time, and we'll catch you next time.